Welcome to Family Gamer TV News, where we look through the week in gaming news and bring you what's important to you as families. And we've got a lot to cover this week, so I'll jump straight in with the most exciting story, which is that Activision and Disney have both finally broken their silence about their upcoming games at the same time and announced that they've got events happening within a week of each other where they're going to announce their next big thing for the Skylanders and the Disney Infinity franchises. Now, we've been waiting ages to hear when this announcement is going to happen. We've finally got some info now. We actually got sent an invitation, us here at Family Gamer TV, quite a fancy little invitation that's got a video in it in which Chaos kind of talks to you and pokes fun at you a bit, and then you get invited to the event. Now, the one in the UK is actually happening first. It's happening a day before the US event on April 22nd. The US one's going to take place on April 23rd. Everyone's obviously pretty excited about this, and we can't wait to hear what they announce. They've said that it will be the latest innovation from the franchise that created the Toys to Life category. That might be a little bit of a dig at Disney Infinity. We'll have to wait and see what this innovation is that is so great that they want to tell us about. If you've got any theories, let us know in the comments, but of course we'll know on April 22nd, so you'll find out as soon as we do. Now, the Disney Infinity event, as I said, takes place a week later, in fact a week exactly after the New York event, on April 30th in Hollywood. Obviously, Disney has a lot of money, a lot of cachet in the film industry. It's obviously going to throw a huge event over there in Hollywood. The Chief Creative Officer for Marvel is going to be there as well. Now, remember that Disney owns the Marvel brand, so Marvel is a part of the kind of collection of franchises that Disney can draw on for its Disney Infinity games. And in fact, you'll remember that Marvel released a teaser recently over the last few days, a little short kind of 30-second video in which the Disney Infinity world is in the video, but then Captain America's shield comes flying through. And at the end, you've got the Disney Infinity logo and then 2.0 edition at the top, or Disney Infinity 2.0. This could be a sequel. It sounds like it's going to be a sequel. Whether it's a full sequel or just kind of an add-on, we'll find out soon, but it sounds likely that it's going to be Marvel themed, or at least very heavily Marvel focused. But as I said, we'll find out really, really soon. We'll bring you the news as soon as we've got it. Now, Game has obviously taken note of the fact that Skylanders is hugely popular, and they've just announced that they've started a Skylanders Swap Force club for Game reward members. So if you've got one of the reward cards, you can join this club. Basically, you get rewards for Swap Force purchases. So at the 5th Swap Force related product that you buy, you get a pack of collector cards for free. At the 8th purchase, you get a limited edition sidekick, and at the 12th purchase, you get a Giants figurine that's exclusive to Game, a limited edition one called Polar Whirlwind. Now, the annoying thing maybe about this club is that you have to spend at least £29 on your first purchase to join, and you have to, make 12 purchases to get that limited edition figurine. So that's quite a lot of money to think about. For some collectors, obviously it's going to be worth it, but for others, maybe not so. Let us know in the comments if you've already joined this club or if you think that you might do despite the kind of hefty price tag. Now, moving over to other news for games that we know you like, we've got a bit more Sims 4 news. That fan site Sims VIP has spotted when they think we'll get another big release of information about the game. So they've seen that the Sims official magazine in Germany has stated that its June issue, which comes out on June 13th, will have a cover story, a huge cover story about The Sims 4. Hopefully this will have lots of new info in it, and people all over the internet will be translating it into English so that us in the UK and the US can understand what they're talking about. That's June 13th, so info should appear online pretty much on that day or soon afterwards, and we'll bring it to you if we see anything exciting. Now, apart from that, we haven't really got any more official info from the Sims 4 team, but there are some screenshots in one of those GDC Game Developers Conference talks. Now, the slides themselves are pretty interesting, but quite difficult to understand if you're not a game developer. There are some interesting kind of charts that show how Sims might have, 3 chains of events going on at the same time. They sit down, they have a drink, they sip from their drink, they change the channel on the TV, they take another sip from their drink, they throw their drink away, they change the channel again, maybe they stand up, kind of things happening all at once that might not have been so easy to do in The Sims 3. But for those of us who aren't developers, most interesting are the screenshots. Can see some kind of objects and basically the general design of the Sims 4 game, which has gone slightly more cartoony, back to the Sims 2 kind of style that people seem to have preferred over the more attempt at realism that was in The Sims 3. Now, moving over to Minecraft, the Pocket Edition team went on Reddit. They had a thread to accompany a live stream panel that they did. This was to celebrate them hitting 20 million sales. In fact, they've got over 21 million at this point. So they did this kind of live stream where they talked about the game. They had this Reddit thread alongside it where people could ask questions that the panel would answer. Most interesting for us, obviously, is that the 0.9 update, this huge update that we've been waiting for ages, should finally be coming out soon. One of the developers said, hopefully May, that's what they're aiming for, but if it does get pushed back, hopefully it'll only be till June. That's only a couple of months away, so we've not got too long to wait now until we get those huge worlds kind of closer to the PC version that we've been promised in this next update. Now, the PS3 and Xbox versions are doing well as well. The PS3 version of Minecraft topped the PSN PS3 charts last month, so it was the best-selling PS3 game on the PlayStation Store. And the Xbox version has just surpassed 12 million sales, so not quite as good as the Pocket Edition, but still pretty good overall. Now, one of the Minecraft YouTubers who's particularly popular, you may know him, Stampy Longhead, has announced recently at a conference that he's going to start a new channel where he uses Minecraft for educational purposes. Now, he's got more than 2.3 million subscribers on his channel, so if he does do this, if he goes ahead with it, which it looks like he will, it should be incredibly popular. We'll wait and see what kind of content he comes up with, but given how many subscribers he's got, what kind of reach he can hope to get, hopefully this will be something really good. Now, in more general news, Amazon recently announced a set-top box that it's producing called the Amazon Fire TV. Now, this is the description that's on the page for it. It's a streaming 1080p media player with voice search, Netflix, Amazon Prime Instant Video, games, and more. Obviously, the most interesting part for us there is the games, and they've given some examples of ones that will be available when it comes out, including Minecraft Pocket Edition, The Walking Dead, which is that kind of adventure game, and Monsters University, which I presume is based on the Disney movie. It's not out in the UK yet, but it is coming, but it is available in the US for $99. Now, whether or not that's worth it, whether people think it's worth it to have one place for all their kind of streaming subscription services, we'll have to wait and see. Let us know in the comments if you're thinking of getting one. Now, not everyone was as disappointed with Oculus VR as Notch was about the Facebook buyout, as we can see from the fact that David Attenborough, who's an incredibly famous kind of wildlife presenter, is making a new documentary series called Conquest of the Skies, in which he's using a 360-degree camera setup that will allow people to experience the documentary with their Oculus Rifts. Now, we're not quite sure how this will work, whether it will be a kind of passive experience or whether they'll just film a scene and you'll actually be able to sit down with your Oculus Rift and kind of look from side to side and look around the scene yourself. Now, speaking of virtual reality, Sony has recently announced its own virtual reality headset to kind of go up against the Oculus Rift in a way, called Project Morpheus. Though obviously the Oculus Rift is for the PC and this is for the PS4, so they're not in direct competition. This features a 1080p 3D display, a 90-degree field of view, and 3D audio, all to kind of combine and give you that experience of feeling like you're inside the game. Obviously, this will be specifically with games for the PlayStation 4. Now, also from Sony, last year they announced a game called PlayStation Vita Pets. Obviously, Nintendogs was a huge hit for Nintendo on the 3DS and the original DS as well. But this is from the development team behind iPet, which is a pretty cool little PS3 game that used the PlayStation Eye to kind of give you that augmented reality experience of having this virtual pet in your real sitting room, so to speak. Now, PlayStation Vita Pets has pet sim features, so like Nintendogs, you'll be able to groom your pets and feed them and things like that, but it also has an adventure in it, and most notably, the dogs actually talk, which is sure to be a divisive feature. In a recent blog post, they gave some more info on the game. You'll do things like use your dogs to find buried treasure, and they also gave a release date of the 4th of June, so that's not too far away. But for people who can't wait, there's an app called PlayStation Vita Pets Puppy Parlor, which is available now on Android and will be soon on iOS. You can use the app to unlock costumes for the final game as well. So even if you're not interested in the kind of the parlor features of this game that comes out on this app, and this kind of simple platformy type aspect to it, you might as well play it just to unlock those costumes if you are interested in getting the final game. Now, over on Nintendo's side of things, there's a new 2DS colour coming to the UK soon, a nice kind of pastel pink and white colour. It's coming out on the same day as Kirby Triple Deluxe, which makes me think that it's supposed to be a kind of purchase alongside with the Kirby game, and that's May the 16th. On the Nintendo store, it's $109.99 though, which seems quite pricey for a 2DS, given that it's supposed to be this kind of cheaper version of the 3DS. Then again, people are always keen to pay more money for pink, it seems. It's quite a popular colour. But let us know if you think it's too expensive in the comments, or if you're thinking of picking one up. Now, for Xbox, a 5-year-old boy has discovered a security flaw with Xbox Live. The BBC reported that this boy, called Christopher von Hassel, was able to log into his dad's Xbox Live account by typing in the wrong password and then going to the second screen and filling up the screen with the spacebar. It then kind of tricked the machine into thinking he'd typed the right password and let him log in. Microsoft has fixed this flaw already, but they have also added Christopher to their website for security researcher acknowledgements. And also they've given him a load of free games, some money, and a year's subscription to Xbox Live, which seems like a worthwhile reward. Now, World of Warcraft creator Blizzard has released a mobile version of their card collecting game, Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft. If you've got the PC version, the progress that you make in the game and your collection of cards are shared. They're linked to your account. So if you log into your account on the mobile version on your iPad, you'll be able to get all of the cards that you've got, and you'll be able to share your progress across the versions of the game. We've got a Let's Play of that if you want to see what it's all about, so check that out in our channel. They also recently announced that there was a single-player campaign coming to every version of the game called Curse of Naxxramas, and I am probably saying that wrong. It doesn't have a release date yet, but we do know that when it comes out, the first chapter will be free, and the rest will be purchasable for in-game gold or real money. And this campaign will allow you to unlock more cards, which is presumably why people will want to go through it. Now, also in mobile games, a Transformers fan site called TFW 2005 has found a poster that seems to have info on upcoming Transformers games. Most interestingly, it lists a Transformers version of Angry Birds Go. Now, Wes actually found evidence of Transformers telepods, which are the kind of physical items that you can use for Angry Birds, earlier this year. So it'll be interesting to see when that announcement comes out what kind of Transformers features they're going to implement in Angry Birds Go, whether this is going to be a completely separate game or whether it's going to be like an add-on with Transformers characters. And that's all the news I've got for now. Obviously a lot to take in there, but I'll move straight over to the charts. Remember, we sort these by PEGI rating, and that's suitability, not ability. So in the 3+ category, at the top, as always, is FIFA 14. Second, interestingly, is Football Manager 2014. Obviously, football, quite a big deal at the moment. It's the World Cup this year, so people are quite excited about it. But this has come back into the charts because there's a new Vita version, so that's boosted the sales overall. And then Gran Turismo 6 is back in this category at number 3. In the 7+ category, at the top is one that's new this week, that's Lego The Hobbit. Actually managed to make it to number 2 overall, but didn't quite scrape the top spot, unfortunately. It has pushed Lego Marvel out of this category, but the Lego Movie video game is still there in 2nd place. And third goes to Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. Now that's an Xbox exclusive. It's also got new free DLC at the moment, a Western-themed DLC called Zomboss Down, which brings a new map, and new characters and stuff like that. So if you've got Plants vs Zombies, you might want to go and download that. In the 12+ category, at the top is Connect Sports Rivals, which is another new game this week, but that only managed to make it to number 14 overall. Second in the 12+ category is Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster, so that's been in there before. And then third is a pretty old game, Forza Horizon, which I think came out in 2012. In the 16+ category, we've got the number 1 overall, which is Titanfall at the top. And then Call of Duty Ghosts is second, another pretty old one, still kind of hanging on. And then third is Infamous Second Son, which is that PS4 exclusive. In the 18+ category, number 1 is South Park The Stick of Truth. That's 4th overall, so it's still doing pretty well. Obviously a very mature RPG that only adults should be playing. And then second is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, another old one. But third is a relatively recent game, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, which is kind of a prologue chapter to Metal Gear Solid 5, which is coming out soon-ish, we hope, although we don't have a release date yet. Now, there are only a couple of games that are coming out this week in the UK on April 17th, interestingly, which is, I think, because Good Friday is on April 18th. In the 3+ category, that's EA Sports 2014 FIFA World Cup Brazil. As I mentioned earlier, the World Cup is happening this year. It takes place from June to July, so that should be quite a popular game, although it's only on PS3 and 360, not on next-gen consoles, so I have to see how well that does. And then in the 12+ category, Trials Fusion for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and 360. This is a kind of a bike game where it has a complicated physics engine that lets you do stunts and stuff. The point of it is to kind of show off your skills, climb the leaderboards, compare your scores with your friends, that kind of thing. Now, that's everything from me this week, but obviously there was quite a lot to take in there. Now, be sure to let us know in the comments if you've got any feedback, particularly if you've got any theories about what this Skylanders and Disney Infinity announcements will reveal, what that innovation for the Skylanders game is, whether Disney Infinity is going to be just Marvel or have more than that. If you've got any thoughts on those Sims 4 screenshots, I'd be interested to hear those as well. And also, if you are interested in the idea of talking dogs in this PlayStation Vita Pets game, I'd be interested to see if anyone else is as put off by that as I am, or whether people think it could be pretty cool. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon.